and I will watch for just a moment. And I see that Facebook has come up and we are live, and YouTube has also. So just wanted to take a few minutes this evening. I said that I would be on here about 9 p.m. and just wanted to take a few minutes and talk on a couple of things that are on my mind. And before we get started, please remember the people who went through Helene, the terrible hurricane that took place and just tore up southern Georgia, northern Florida, but really hit North Carolina and eastern Tennessee very hard. So still people devastated, still finding bodies, and it's just a terrible time. Also remember the Philippines right now, they are going through a typhoon in the area where I have some very close friendships and loved ones in the Beagle Albay area. And please remember them. And let's trust and hope that the Spirit will bring them through without any loss of life and clear that up and break it up and move it away. So we have that. And also, one other thing I want to say before we move on to our message, and that is I have my book out now, Close Encounters of the Supernatural, and all of you have seen the notices. Many of you are ordering it, and I do want to thank you. I appreciate it. It gives me the support I need to keep doing these things and to be able to write more books. It does cost and put these books out. And I explained on the Zoom meeting kind of why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. I started out with a lot of the witnesses of signs, wonders, miracles, and things in the ministry across the 6 continents where I've been. And I did that because, I know that that pulls a lot of people's attention. And so I did it that way to kind of get people's attention when they read the book and they say, oh my, the Spirit is dealing with humanity, with someone in our day and in our time. And so then from there, we will go into many of the things that we understand in the next few books. And so just be in prayer for that. And I do want to ask you one favor. Any of you that have ordered the book and have you started reading it, or if you have read it and you like it, whether it's the paperback or the ebook, either one, would you please go into Amazon and write a review? And hopefully it's a great review and you really enjoyed the book and it helped you. It built your faith and brought you out of maybe a condition you thought you wouldn't be able to get out of, or whatever it might be. And write a review for me. And if several of you can do that, that helps sell the book. Also, that helps get the book onto the shelves, not just ordering it off the internet, but it's on shelves for people to pick up when they go into the different bookstores, Barnes and Noble and things like that. So I would appreciate it if you go in where you ordered the book from. Just go into Amazon and you'll see a place there where it says book review, and just click in there and give us a good review. So the secular world will pick up on it and say, I want that. I want to see what's going on here. So today, just for a little while, we'll make a little switch here. And I want to talk on a couple of things. And when we begin to talk on this, we have been talking quite a bit on the P-A-R-A, and all the different things about, paralegal, paradigm, parallax, paragraph, on and on and on. Parabolic, we're going to talk on today. So I am Don Parnell. This is Daily Spiritual Medicine, Volume 55. And I have titled this, The Parabolic Reality of Humanity. and continue discussing just a little bit on para. And I am Dom Parnell, a Torialo Yansa, independent thinker at Independent Thinker 1954. And you can find me on most social medias under those names. And so we want to come across in a way here to help us raise our consciousness of what's going on in us. And we've been talking and reviewing many things that are in parallax, and parallax meaning the object and the observer is changing. The point of view is changing. And we gave prophecy of many things that are now happening on a large scale across the world. And we see those things happening all around us. And the point of view of the observer and the position of the object has both changed. And we know that we are the observer and we are the object being observed. So we're observing ourselves, discovering ourselves, and understanding ourselves. So the point of view of the observer and the position of the object has both changed, bringing us into what I want to speak about for our understanding a little further. The word parabolic is another word that is coming to fruition for us. We have used related terms, metaphors, figurative speech, allegories, types, shadows, patterns, and it comes from para, comes from a Greek word that goes way back, and it is a something that all things use similarly or are symbolic similarly in many different ways. So this figurative allegories, types, metaphors, shadows, patterns, it all comes from the word. That was the word that was used way back from many of them that through the Greek languages and the Arabic, and before the Arabic, the Aramaic. And so I've been using these words that rotate around parables. That's what it's about. It rotates around parables. And for a few sessions now, we've talked about it, and I want to open why so many of the great leaders used parables. You know, Jesus did. Hardly did he ever have a speaking engagement, wherever it might be, on the boats or in the temples or wherever it might be. Hardly ever did he speak with parables about kings, parables about women, parables about just on and on and on, all sorts of parables that Jesus used about great treasures, about pearls of great price, treasures in the field, the tares and the wheat. It was all. So we look at this para, and there are a lot. I'm just going to give you a few so you can kind of get an idea. But there's paranormal, those things that go beyond the normal trend of physics. There's parallel, things running side by side, simultaneous. Parallax, the points of view of the eye changing. Paradox, things that are just totally unexplainable. Parabol, and that is telling a story to get the reality across. And there's parakeet, a repeat and a repeat and a repeat. A parakeet does that. There's paradigm. A paradigm is a shift outside of the normal thinking, a shift outside of the box, so to speak. And so that's paradigm. And paragraph, excuse me, paragraph meaning there's a certain section written, and paragraph holds something that the writer wants to get across to the reader in that paragraph, and then he starts another paragraph. So we have all these in para, or if you want to take a look at the way science talks about it, para or epigenetics. And now I would like to discuss parabolic and how it relates to our metaphysical being. We are a metaphysical being. Metaphysics has a branch within it, okay? And the branch within metaphysics, which is a scientific physical study of things in the earth that are similar and use the same thing in nature in their similarities. So metaphysics has a branch within it called etymology. And part of the etymology is ontology. Ontologists study, listen, ontologists study what are the common properties that all entities share or use similarly in nature. So we see this. This is what ontology is. It's the study of common properties that all entities share or use similarly in nature. I hear a lot of ministers and they're starting to discuss metaphysics. After we open the understanding of one spirit, of course, that would bring you to metaphysics. What is similar about the one spirit that we all use? And so it brings you to metaphysics comes from that oneness. Now, many try to use metaphysics in a church order, and where, you know, there's one object, and this one object, if you think about metaphysics, there are millions and millions or hundreds or several that are similar and use this object to bring forth their character and their nature. So many ministers out here, and I'm listening to them, and I can see what they're doing. Many try to use metaphysics in a church order way, where one person is the metaphysician superior to all others in their area, wherever they're at. You know, I'm the prophet of Africa. I'm the prophet of Asia. I'm the prophet of the Vietnam. I'm the prophet of America. I'm the prophet of this one and that one. They're trying to use this metaphysics to pull everything back into church order, where one person is the metaphysician superior to all others in their area, and all others in the region have their life and revelation from them. If you don't get it from them, you don't have the revelation. If I may say so, follow that concept if you want, but it is as old as the church ages and older. It's not a new message. One man ministry always tries to raise its head amid any movement. When the spirit moves, a one-man ministry, that spirit tries to metaphysically become the metaphysician, the smartest man, the most intellectual man, the Saul, the head and shoulders above everyone else, and then everyone has to follow him or listen to him or get their influence from him. Or if he didn't say it or she didn't say it, then it's no good. Well, you go ahead with that if you want to. I already came out of that a long time ago. One man minister always tries to raise its head amid any movement of the spirit. It is to help remove the dross of intelligence, and that's what it's about. A lot of people say, why does the Lord allow this? Why does the Spirit allow this? Why do people get attracted to this every single time? Seems like we move and you say, oh man, this is so free, and all of a sudden these snakeheads start popping up everywhere and saying, listen to me, I have the revelation. I have the understanding. I'm beyond anybody else. Jesus stated to his followers that he used parables to hide secrets from the wise and the prudent and reveal those secrets to babes such as will receive them. So we see this. This is the way that it is handled. And any man that would try to project himself, show a narcissistic attitude, and put anything out there other than things that would draw people to an object that is similar and that has the nature, and that object would be Christ himself in you. If I can do anything to help you tonight or any other time, it would be to help you open up the doors in your own heart and mind, and then let you begin the discovery and the exploration from there. I don't need to go around everywhere and say, oh, look, you need to look for this and you need to look for that. And that's not a part of it. Parabolics is a move into symbols and parables so everyone can have that mind and that key opened up to them. Now, Jesus went on to say, you are blessed because I have spoken plainly to you while speaking in parables, figuratives, metaphors, allegories, parabolic or parabola language to everyone else. But to you, I have spoken plainly. So we see this going on. Now, parabolic is relating to or involving a parable. Example, when an object is thrown into the air, you take an object and you pick it up and you take that object and you throw it into the air. Okay? When an object is thrown into the air, parabolic is the curve or the difference it makes until it hits the ground. And it does have a curve to it. Nothing is a straight line. I don't know whether you know that or not. There's a curve to everything. And parabolic, it's a parable, how that everything has a curve. And when an object is thrown into the air, parabolic is the curve or difference it makes until it hits the ground. When the object hits the ground, then the stability returns to the object. So whenever there is instability, parabolics, parallax, all of these different things are going on all around you. And you see it happening all around you because the world is in an unstable condition. Now, so we see this. I want to say we've moved from general mathematics, okay, talking about throwing something up in the air. We've moved from general mathematics to advanced calculus. Advanced calculus, nothing is linear, nothing. Everything is curved. You get into geometry, it's straight lines, angles, rectangles, triangles, on and on and on, octagons and everything else. But when you get into calculus, you move out of all of those straight line, linear thinking, measurement, and calculus takes you to where nothing is linear anymore. Nothing is a straight line anymore. Everything has a curve to it. We now understand that all points of view towards the object, if that eye is looking at the object, if me, the observer, am looking at the object, and I have advanced my mind and heart into calculus, we now understand that all the points of view towards that object have a curvature and will come to stability in Christ. So when you see something showing that curvature and it looks to be unstable, just be patient. Parabolics will come to stability. All these parables, all of these symbols, all of these figuratives and allegories and everything else will come, that will come to a stability. Now, speaking about the rock, the object, throwing it into the air. 1964, prophet spoke. The unveiling of God. There are several sitting here. This is him talking, William Branham. There are several sitting here, a number that was with us the other day when he came in the whirlwind. There was a whirlwind that came. Told us the day before. Brother Banks Woods and them, when he said, take up this rock, throw it up in the air, and say, thus saith the Lord, you will see it right away. And I picked up a rock. Here's the prophet in Sabina Canyon. The Spirit says, you need to make a change. Send the entire earth, the entire cosmos into a parabolic movement, into a movement to where it's unstable. And so he picks up the rock, throws it into the air, and says, thus saith the Lord, you will see it right away. And I picked up the rock up on top of the mountain, threw it up in the air. And of course, coming down, it started the whirlwind. Now, I'm sure those men standing there did not see a whirlwind, but William Branham, knowing that prophet, knowing what was going on, he knew he was at the time that he was throwing the whole world into an unstable condition, the cosmos into an unstable condition, into a figurative, into a parabolic situation. And when he was throwing them into that, he said, I threw that rock up in the air. And when I threw it up in the air, of course, coming down, it started the whirlwind. Everything goes from a straight line into a curvature under parabolic. You have to do something to cause something to follow it. You remember in Revelation's 18th chapter? What you're reading is Revelation's 18 right here, right now. Revelation's the 18th chapter. You know what? You know what happened there? He said an angel, Babylon, was there in Revelation the 18th chapter in all of its beauty, and an angel took up a rock and cast it into Babylon and said, thus saith the Lord, Babylon has fallen. That's what you've seen happen right here. 1964, it took place. There was an angel standing in the earth in Babylon and cast that rock. Why did he cast that rock? Because Babylon was ending. You say, but Brother Parnell, Babylon was way back there centuries and centuries ago. Remember what he said, 70 years. Jeremiah spent 70 years in Babylon. And when Jeremiah spent that 70 years in Babylon, you know how long that is? 7 decades, 7 Sabbaths, 7 church ages. 7 church ages were ending. And in order to bring it to an end and throw everything into a parabolic movement, what did he do? Picked up a rock, threw it up in the air. On its way down, the curvature took place, started a whirlwind. You have to do something to cause things to follow. Jesus took a piece of bread and broke it, then multiplied from that piece of bread. Every time he broke it and handed a piece, more grew. A lot of people, they don't understand that. The bread, when he broke it, it kept coming back and coming back and coming back. And then he put it in the disciples' hands and they would break it and it would come back. That's how they knew it was Jesus on the road to Emmaus. They sat down with him. And how did they recognize him? When he broke the bread. They saw him take that bread at the table, break it, and it grew back. And he handed them a piece. And they said, oh my, this is the same guy that done that and fed 5,000 people. And they knew who he was. So Jesus took the piece of bread and broke it. It sends everything into a parabolic movement. Parables, figuratives, allegories, everything is all over the place. Politically, it's an allegory happening right in front of us. And religiously, it's a parabolic, it's an allegory, it's a figurative, it's a metaphor happening right in front of us. And the curvature, watch the curvature where it's going to. Now, he says he took water poured it into a pitcher, Jesus. They multiplied that piece of bread. He took water, poured it into a pitcher, and it became more water, 6 water pots. Elijah took salt, put it in a cruse, cut down a stick, throwed it in the lake, and the axe head floated and come up to the stick and got on the stick. All of these things are movements that push us or throw us into a parabolic, into a parallax. Everything becomes kind of unstable for a little while. I told you it would be unstable for a while. You know that just a few years ago. And we're sitting here watching it as the observer under the understanding, advanced understanding of calculus. We can see what is going on, and we're just patient because it's going to come to stability. It will. That's thus saith the Lord. He took water, poured it into a pitcher. Elijah took salt, poured it in a cruse, cut down a stick, throwed it into the water. Do you understand? It's something to symbolize. Parabolic, symbolic. It's something to throw everything into curvature or into chaos for a little season and bring on something new. So he says, now, look, it's something to symbolize. And picking up this rock that I did and throwing it into the air and coming down started a whirlwind. Now, walking back where I was supposed to be standing, and out of the air came this whirlwind. Now he's talking about a day later, 24 hours later. Out of the air comes this whirlwind down through the canyon from above that was so great till it tore rocks 8 or 10 inches through and out of the tops of the mountain and throwed them to hundreds of yards out and clapped 3 times loudly like a voice came from it. And see, all of them standing there, Brother Banks, present now, came up and said, that was what you told me about yesterday, wasn't it? I said, yes, sir, that's it. He said, now what did it say? I said, now that's just for me to know, Brother Banks, see, because it would alarm people. But it went ahead and it happened just in a little while. That was Palm Sunday, 1964. And there was the great earthquake where those angels left from there, went straight up into Alaska over Anchorage and struck the earth, brought the greatest earthquake that the United States has ever had in Juneau and Anchorage, Alaska. Now, we see this happening. He says, now look, it's just for me to know at this time. But it went just a little while traveling northward, just a few days later, it hit the ocean. And you see what happened around Fairbanks. It was a judgment sign. Things began to change. That's what this is about. Now, parabolic brings us to another step of realization. We have parallax, we have parallel, we have paradigm, we have all of these things that are happening all around us. And we have this happening. Parabolic brings us to another step of realization. It is to take those things that were stable and shake them so much until it shakes heaven and earth down, and then it moves into curvature. And when it strikes the earth again, it moves into stability. So parabolic brings us to another step of realization. Remember, John saw an angel in Revelations pick up a rock, cast it into Babylon, crying out, alas, Babylon has fallen. It was the judgment sign that the 70 years were over for Babylon. The 7 decades, the 7 church ages were finished. A man stood there knowing that, took a rock, threw it into the air, and collapsed the whole thing. 7 church ages. The 7th messenger cast the rock and destroyed the authority and the power of Babylon in 1 hour. It took a generation. You know that. They went back home. They didn't know what happened. It took a generation to begin to come to this realization. But that doesn't matter. The rock was thrown into the air. It was a cosmos. It was a universal. It was a change from stability. Church age is ending. Strong 7 ages. Strong all the way through. And then what happens? A rock is thrown into the air, cast into Babylon, and it tears Babylon down in 1 hour. Alas, alas, Babylon has fallen. It took a generation, but that doesn't matter. The rock was thrown into the air, and the result is before us. Look at it. Eternity is always connected through the thread of time. I remember in 2014, I remember it very plainly. 2014, myself, Pastor Mitta, Pastor Gomez were standing outside the meeting hall in Beekalal Bay. And it was right there on the ocean. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember seeing my own and so forth and preaching about that. And I remember we were standing outside, and Brother Jamie Wesley, Brother Mitta, Brother Joe Gomez, some of us were standing there, and I was seeing the oneness coming in. That's when I took away that meeting, is when I took away the duality through the Spirit and brought everything to oneness and brought Lucifer back in as an angel of light and brought redemption and reconciliation for the one that was lost. Wasn't everybody lost? We need to understand that. Jesus said, I only lost one. Wasn't everybody lost? And in Saint Luke 19, and I think verse 10, he said, I came to save that which was lost. He came to bring back those angels. He came to bring back Lucifer. He came to bring back under redemption. So Lucifer's not under a redemption plan. You might think not. But Lucifer, you and I are angels of light that came under a redemption plan, and there was just one lost, and that was the nature and the spirit of the beast. Now, let's go on just a little bit. We're standing outside the building. It's 2014. We just came into the Philippines down in Mindanao, and we went in at Butuan, I believe was the name of it, and it was the womb, the place of promise, the place of birth, the seed. And we left from there and we went to Beagle, and we were standing outside Beagle, and we had great meetings in Mindanao. And I was seeing the oneness coming into fruition, and we were all standing there. I rehearsed what the prophet had said to us. I told them about picking up a rock. And we were all standing there, and I looked down and I picked up a rock and I pitched it into the air. That was 2014, December. And when I pitched that rock up in the air, I said, a whirlwind is coming. Get ready. A message of great change. Get ready for it or you'll miss it. And I said, it's a message of great change. Get ready. That whirlwind, look at it now. From 2014, we're coming up on December of 2024 in just a month or so. And we are looking at the greatest whirlwind that has ever struck the world. We are looking at chaos that went across the world. We are looking from that time in December of 2014, when that rock was pitched into the air. We're looking at from that time until now. Look at the chaos. Look at the parabolic. Look at the uncertainty. Look at the parallax, the changes. Look at all of those things that happened so quickly. And that whirlwind has gone around the world, opening a light that has changed the message completely from the Piscean age, the Piscean church tradition, into divine humanity. That's what's going on now, into divine humanity. The mighty Spirit is unveiled before us now. He unveiled himself. He took us into the curvature. He gave us the advanced mind of calculus to not worry, knowing that all things will come back to stability. The mighty Spirit unveiled before us now, and it creates the necessary things to open the attributes and qualities of itself. The angel, messenger of mine, that talks to me, speaks with me, deals with me right up to this night, deals with me. The angel messenger of mine stood before me in April of 2018 in a hospital when they told me I had stage 3 cancer and I didn't have long. And that colon cancer, that surgery, and expressed to me, he stood there and said, don't worry about these things. And he said that I'll have 5 years of trouble coming physically, and to bear the scars of it with spiritual growth. Everything you move into, do so knowing it's for your spiritual growth. Don't become bitter. Don't become angry. Don't lose your drive. Don't do any of those things. Keep your mind on the Spirit, not on the pain. Keep your mind on where I am taking you. It's all fitting in together. It has been 5 years now, April of 18, and here we are in October of 24. It's been a little over 5 years, and it has been that time I suffered colon cancer. In that time, was supposed to be gone, and the Lord touched us. And it has been this time I had a stroke in my eye and I could not see. I could not balance. I had a patch over my eye for a period of time. I couldn't drive. I couldn't hardly walk, anything else. And I had this patch over my eye. And then I had septic poisoning from different operations. I had 3 hernia surgeries. And then I had the liver bile duct cancer in the pancreas and things, and another hernia surgery after that, 3 bouts with pneumonia, all in that 5-year period. I mean, my body went down to where it's all I could do to breathe. And I kept saying, Lord, you told me I will make it through this 5 years. Help me. Get me through it. I promise you, I will continue what I'm doing. I'll keep my heart open. 3 bouts with pneumonia and a damaged left lung. And that's why I don't go as long as I used to go. That left lung gives me trouble. It's a little sore right now. I just was diagnosed. I lost consciousness for just a little while a few days ago. My daughter finally brought me around. And I went into the hospital, left lung, pneumonia, and my blood pressure dropped to 60/40 and just barely made it through. And I'm sitting here tonight knowing that he told me that. He said that you would have these troubles. In my weakness, I declare that I am strong. I am victorious. I am healthy. All is well. My spiritual strength and my eye has not abated, as I'm stronger than ever in my understanding. I am 70 years old. This is the end of that Babylonian rule. I am 70 years old, 70 years free. Babylon is gone. The 7 decades, the 7 church ages are over. I'm outside the hierarchy of Pisces and the message church and everything else. And the Babylonian woman, she's changed her garment, much of it because of what we're teaching. My mind and my heart are strong. And I know this physical body is influenced by these things. And I am well. So why are you declaring that, Brother Parnell? Because I know that I am a representative and a representation of this age, of you as a divine humanity. I've put here for that reason. The earth and the Aquarian move. It is I am a big influence on that. I know that. I know things are well. I know things are moving well. I know things are happening. I watch the writings. I watch the brethren. I watch the sisters. I watch the movement. I know things are well because I am well. I am happy. I feel good. You say, Brother Parnell, how did you come through all that? By the revelation of Jesus Christ, by faith, by you. I am a representative of you. And when you're doing well, I'm doing well. We're through the trouble. We're through the age of trouble. We're through the calculus. We are through the curvature. We are through the parabolics. We are through the symbols. We are through all of those things. We're in reality now. This is the reality we're living in. And the rest of the world is just needing to catch up. It's just needing to catch up. That's what's happening now. And they will. Look at it from Argentina, the great leader that they took on there, and here in America, the great leader that we are about to take. And look at all across the world, how that the world has, the people have said, we will not take anything except a government that cares about its people. This is Christ. The movement is on. It's not one man. Metaphysics wise, it's not one man raising up. That's not what it's about. This is about a movement of millions of men and women who understand who they are. They understand what is going on. They understand the love and the care. They understand divine humanity. They understand that we are spiritual healers that came in immediately after a great physical healing revival. Here come the spiritual healers in the spiritual, and we are bringing all of these things into stability again. The parabolics, the parallax, the paradigm, all of these things, the parallel, the duality, it's all leaving us. And we are one in Christ, one understanding of who we are. And each one of you have a different flavor for that understanding. You know, I told somebody just the other day, I said, I go out on the internet for hours and hours at a time, and I listen to men, I listen to women, I listen to what they're saying, I pay attention. And when I hear something that resonates with me, I take it in, I make it a part of me. And when I do that, I come here and I speak. And you say, but Brother Parnell, you don't use very many names. You don't have to. I'm not a repeat. I'm not a parakeet. I'm not any of those things. I'm speaking from the revelation of Jesus Christ. And when somebody helps me and gives me that and gives me and moves me a little further in understanding, I use what they said. They are influencing me, and I'm bringing my revelation on it to you. And all I can say to you is do the same thing. If you want to resonate with people, if you want people to pay attention to you, don't repeat, don't quote, oh, brother so-and-so said this, brother so-and-so said that, this philosopher said this. Just say it. Just say it. Say what it is, bring it to the people, say it, and it's one spirit. It's going across the universe, and we will come out of that curvature. We'll come out of those parabolics. We will come back to stability when we realize metaphysics is not a one-man ministry. It is a one spirit moving in millions of men and women. Love bless, and I hope it's been a great help to you. And I will be coming back as a representative of you, this age and this understanding. Love bless.